Good morning, students. Today we are going to discuss the next topic of our chapter, that is balanced diet. Earlier we have discussed some of the food components, like we talked about carbohydrates. Our food are containing carbohydrates, proteins, fats. Other than these components, this is not making our complete balanced diet. There are some other food materials also that are required, like we require vitamins, minerals are required, some amount of roughage is required, water is required. This is making our complete balanced diet. These components are required in large quantity, while these lower components are basically required in small quantity. These are helpful in various metabolic functions, and these are acting as a main source of energy in our body. Now, there is particular amount of these resources that we need to take daily. If I talk about carbohydrate, it is about 400 to 500 gram of carbohydrate that has to be taken daily. Then proteins, it's about 65 to 75 gram, and fats, it is about 60 to 70 gram. So almost this much amount is necessary to be taken by us daily. Now, what these three components are doing, I said they are important for the liberation of energy. Now, when energy is being liberated from these compounds, the energy is in form of heat, and we are going to measure this energy again in form of heat energy. So when we are going to measure this energy, this amount of energy that is liberated due to their combustion, we are measuring them in two forms. We are calculating their calorific value, and we are calculating their physiological value. Now, what is the calorific value and what is the physiological value? Basically, calorific value is that amount of heat energy that is liberated by the combustion of 1 gram of food material in a bomb calorimeter. Bomb calorimeter simply means we are talking about a chamber, and inside that chamber, when we are going to burn, when we are going to combust 1 gram of food material, the heat energy that is liberated out is known as calorific value. Now, this heat energy is basically the total amount of energy, the maximum energy that can be extracted from this 1 gram of food material. That means there is no wastage of energy. Though there is no wastage, whole food has combusted and provided the maximum energy. This is the calorific value. Now, what physiological value means? Physiological value means, again, there is combustion of 1 gram of food material, but the difference over here is this combustion is taking place into the body of a human being. So, when the food material is going to combust into our body, it is not providing us 100% of energy. Some amount of energy will be liberated in form of heat. So that will be the actual energy that is present inside our body, and that can be used for different type of physical works. So calorific value will be always more as compared to the physiological value, because here no energy is wasted, and here some amount of energy is wasted in form of heat. Now, what will be the calorific value for different food components? For carbohydrates, it is about 4 kilocalorie per gram. And if I talk about the physiological value, it is about 4.1 kilocalorie. And if I talk about the physiological value, it is about 4 kilocalorie per gram. For proteins, the calorific value is 5.65 kilocalorie per gram, while its physiological value is 4.0 kilocalorie per gram. That means it is less as compared to the calorific value. For fats, it is 9.45 kilocalorie per gram, and the physiological value is 9 calorie per gram. So this is the difference between the calorific value and the physiological value of the food components that are providing energy. Now let's discuss again very small topic, that is fat soluble vitamins. We are having fat soluble vitamins A, D, E and K. All these four vitamins are basically soluble in fat, and they are hydrophobic in nature. They are water repellent. They are having different names, different complex names, plus they are involved in different pathways or different functioning. Here I am discussing about the vitamins, their names, the processes, or you can say the stages where they are functioning inside the body, and what type of defects or what type of diseases are taking place because of their deficiency. So you can say diseases or defects. First one is vitamin A. Vitamin A is known as retinol, and this vitamin A is helping in our vision. It is basically helping in the formation of rhodopsin that is present in our rod cells, and these rod cells are helping in our day and night vision. So whenever there will be deficiency of vitamin A in our body, it is affecting our vision, and it is leading to the conditions like light blindness, means there will be problem in the individual will have problem in dim light vision, plus another condition that is known as xerophthalmia. Xerophthalmia simply means dry eyes. Because of the deficiency of vitamin A, the individual shows dry eyes. The second is vitamin D. Vitamin D is known as calciferol. Vitamin D is basically functioning in the calcium absorption. The calcium that is present in our intestine, we have digested the food, and from this digested food, because of the presence of vitamin D, calcium is going to be absorbed, plus this calcium is deposited in our bones. So vitamin D is helping in making our bones strong, and when there will be deficiency of vitamin D, calcium will not be deposited in the bones, and the condition will be rickets. The bones will be very fragile and they can break easily, or you can say bones will be very weak. Then comes vitamin E, that is known as tocopherol. Tocopherol or vitamin E. Vitamin E acts as an antioxidant. What are antioxidants? Basically, antioxidants are those substances, those agents which are going to prevent the formation of oxidants in our body. Oxidant simply means oxygen, free oxygen radicals, and these free oxygen radicals are very dangerous, and they are preventing various of the metabolic, or they are affecting various of the metabolic activities of our body. So these antioxidants are going to block the formation of these free oxygen radicals, plus they are helpful in the functioning of reproductive system. Proper functioning of reproductive system takes place because of the presence of vitamin E, and they are also helping in the maintenance of structure of RBCs. So they are, because of the as an antioxidant, they are preventing aging. That means if there is deficiency of vitamin A, aging will be promoted. Again, reproductive system not function properly, reproductive system is going to be affected, and there will be breakdown of RBCs. Hemolysis takes place because of the deficiency of vitamin E. Now the last fat soluble vitamin is vitamin K. Vitamin K is called phylloquinone. And vitamin K is helpful. It is basically present in liver and it is helping in blood clotting. So the defect is very clear. When there will be deficiency of vitamin K, blood clotting or clot formation will not take place. There will be delay in clot formation. And there will be continuous flow of blood. So these are some of the fat soluble vitamins.